Okay, so today we're going to be talking about conversion factors. And one of the things you need to remember about conversion factors is that the entire point behind them is that it's supposed to be making your life easier by helping you to convert between systems. So you need to know things like there's 12 inches in a foot. Well, these are almost always held in a table for you. So you know that you can write that conversion factor in two ways. If you want inches, it would be 12 inches per 1 foot. But if I want feet, I could put 1 foot over 12 inches. And I could use that as my conversion factor. It's actually the same thing. It just depends on what you want and what you have. So what you want should always be going on the top. So if I look at the factor of 3 feet in 1 yard, if I want feet, where does feet go? That's right, feet's going to go on top. So that would be 3 feet over 1 yard. Or if I want yards, it would be 1 yard over 3 feet. You can do the same thing with much larger numbers like 5,280 feet in a mile. If I want miles, then 1 mile would go on top, 5,280 feet would go below. And for yards, it's 1,760 yards in 1 mile. If I want the yards, I would put that on top, which would be 1,760, kind of ran out of space, per 1 mile. So that's how you generally set up all conversion factors. All right, so with our conversion factors, these would be our setup. That's almost always going to be at the top of your assignment for a conversion factor. So let's say that I have 95 inches and I want to turn it into feet. In order to do that, I have to figure out what the conversion factor is. So I'm always going to start with what I have, which is 95 inches, and I'm going to put it over 1 because let's face it, every number really exists over 1. I just tend to ignore the 1 because anything divided by 1 is itself. So then I'm going to multiply it by whatever my conversion factor is. And I'm looking at my list, and I'm realizing since I want feet and I have inches, that leaves me with this guy right here, 12 inches and 1 foot. But I want to have feet when I'm done, so I'm going to put the 1 foot on top. And I'm going to put the 12 inches on the bottom. And you're going to say, why put the 12 inches on the bottom? It's due to the fact that I want to get rid of the inches. I need them to go away, which means I can now cancel out the inches. This leaves me with 95, which now has no unit, times 1 foot over 1 times 12, which now has no units. And you're looking at that and you're going, that's really complicated, except 95 times 1 is 95. So it's really 95 feet, because I leave my unit, over 1 times 12 is 12. So I take my 95 and divide it by 12 to figure out the answer. So now that I know that I need 95 divided by 12, I'm going to pull out my trusty calculator, put in 95 divided by 12, and I'm going to get 7.91666666 forever. So 7.91, and I'm just going to round that to a 7. And notice that my unit is feet right here, and that's going to continue and go right there. So my answer, generally I round it to 1 decimal point, so I would probably write that in with 1 decimal point as 7.9 feet. And that is how you use a basic conversion factor.